Hey there, and welcome to the Gentle Beginnings podcast. I am Toby Deitch, childbirth educator, founder of Gentle Beginnings, and creator of the Brain Body Birth course. If you're pregnant, preparing for birth, navigating postpartum, or just figuring out life with a newborn, you're in the right place. There is so much information out there, and it can feel like a lot. My goal with this podcast is to make things feel a little simpler, to help you feel less overwhelmed, less stressed, and more confident in yourself and your choices. Think of this as a place where you can take a deep breath, learn something new, and walk away feeling a little more calm, prepared, and excited for what's ahead. I'm so glad you're here. Let's dive in. Hi, and welcome back to the Gentle Beginnings podcast. Today is such a special episode for me because I get to have my bestie, my sister, my one and only sister on here, and I feel so honored that she agreed to come on. Just a little bit about my sister. Her name is Esty, and interestingly enough, we both ended up in the same space, which is birth work, and that is wild, and it's the best thing ever. I am mainly a birth educator. Esty works as a doula, and she's out in the field doing God's work, and I just want to chill with her on here with all of you. So grab a cup of tea and sit back and enjoy. Welcome, Esty.
Hi, guys. I'm so happy to be here. Thank you for having me on.
So, we spoke before, and I was like, what are we going to talk about on this podcast? And I mean, we're chill. We literally talk 5 times a day. But what I think is important is for people to understand what it actually means supporting hands-on at a birth. What does it look like? And I mean, I couldn't have a better person on here to talk about this. So what's it like for you walking into a room and supporting a mother? And as we know, everyone is so different and everyone's personality is different. So what's that like for you?
Okay. So first of all, thank you for having me. It's wonderful to be here. It is such an honor. My sister is one of the most incredible birth educators that I know and people. So I'm very, very blessed. How is it for me to be in a room with a mother who's delivering a baby? Honestly, transformational. There's no other words to describe it. It is the most wonderful experience to be a part of. Being able to watch life come into this world and support it. Nothing makes me more proud to be a woman, to be proud of women. It's incredible to me to see the strength that we women have. We just are incredible and superior as a species. Just saying, yes. Okay? Every single mother that you know is a superhero, and go over to your moms and to your friends who are moms and to your own moms and to your sisters and just tell them that how incredible they are, because every single birth shows me again and again that women are just unbelievable. For me, being in a room with a mom and being able to be there as a supporting character, I always tell my moms, I'm like, you are the main actress in this event. I am here as a supporting character, just at your side, helping you and guiding you throughout your journey into motherhood. And watching couples come together as parents there's just something so beautiful and wonderful about that. And I'm so grateful to be in this, to be doing this work.
I love it. Growing up, I think both of us were very nurturing people. And the fact that you get to literally take your whole heart and pour it into such beautiful work and help other women through this, you were meant for this. And I think it's really special that we both get to do this together, sort of hand in hand. One of the things about birth work is that many times there are situations that leave us feeling unsteady, and having someone to be able to debrief and go through and learn from, and also say, hey, what can I do differently next time? How can I support this better? It's just nice to have that. And oh my gosh, you're doing an incredible job, and you're doing such incredible work.
Thank you.
I wanted to ask you a question, and this is something that I'm super passionate about, and that is advocacy. I think that advocating is so much more than just coming in with a birth plan. And there's so many misconceptions of what does it look like to advocate for yourself? And I want to hear, as a doula, and what is your role when it comes to advocating for your clients? And what should women expect when they hire a doula, and how should they have these conversations about advocacy to make sure that they are aligned with the person that will be accompanying them and having their back and being able to speak up for them when the time comes?
Advocacy. Advocacy is a big one. And advocacy is so, so important when it comes to a doula-client relationship. And the first step, I think, with advocacy is hiring a doula. You have to find out which doula aligns with what you want. Make sure that your doula is going to be accepting and is going to be supportive of whatever path you decide to take in your labor. So whether you want to go medicated, unmedicated, if you want to have certain medications for your baby or you don't, or you want to push on all fours, or you really, really want to be able to labor in different positions and not be connected to the bed with IV or monitoring the entire time. Make sure that your doula is ready to stand by your side and be a fighter for you. That being said, I think that the role of a doula in the delivery room is to make things as comfortable for both mom and dad, as well as making sure that things don't get awkward or uncomfortable. So when I advocate for my clients, I do so in such a tactful way, in a way that, yes, I will make sure your requests are heard and everything you want is brought across and they know what you want, but I will not fight with a doctor. I will not raise my voice at a nurse, and I will not scream at your midwife. I will be very, very diplomatic in expressing what you want. And obviously, I want you to know what you want. And I make sure I try to tell my clients all the time, like, you come in with a birth plan, come in prepared, come in knowing what you want. And we have, like, I work with Vicky and her doula group, which is an incredible group, but we have a form that our clients fill out, which is a checklist of all the things you might want in labor. And before I go into a client, before I go to a birth, I look over the checklist. I'm like, I refresh my memory on what this client actually wants. And I make sure I try as much as I can to make sure that this client gets what she wants. Now, listen, advocacy did not come easy to me. It's not easy to stand up for what you want and go talk to a doctor and tell him, like, my client doesn't want this, my client doesn't want that. In the beginning, as a doula, I really had to work on myself to make sure that my clients' voices are heard. But I think it took some time, but I got there, especially.
That was everything.
Also, especially being that, like, me and you, like, the way we are raised and the way generationally, right, we're people pleasers and we want to make everybody happy.
I was just going to say this, that we're the type of people that we always want, like, we just want everyone to be happy and we don't want to ruffle any feathers. And I think that, like, we got, like, thrown into this work because it revealed to us, like, those points where we need to work on ourselves. And for me, it's also, like, learning to stick up and say no and being able to advocate for other people takes it to a whole different level. Like, it's the best like self-growth program.
Absolutely. And I think advocating the right way without causing more pain and more drama and more discomfort, because you don't want discomfort in the room. Once you have a doctor angry at your doula and that connection is off, the whole vibe is off in the room, and you don't want that, right? We want to have a good relationship, because really, we don't look at doctors as enemies. We don't look at midwives. Like, we're all in this together. We want the best outcome for the mom and baby, right? For that family. We want to see that family come out strong with a baby in their arms, right? So nobody means to hurt anybody, but sometimes, things get overlooked and things are not taken seriously. And my job as a doula is to absolutely advocate for you. Absolutely. But also at the same time, make sure that, like, the atmosphere in the room and the vibe stays just calm and chill the entire time. And I think it is very important for me because I'm a people pleaser deep down at the core, right? Like, this is amazing work for me, because every time I advocate for a client, I come out feeling so good about myself. Like, I did it again, You
did it again.
I worked on it and I got over this
hurt. It's like a muscle that gets stronger and stronger. And it's so crazy because when it comes to ourselves, like to our own personal situations that we need to navigate, it's harder. It's easier in a way to be like, okay, I'm not going to say anything. But when it comes to another person, it's like you were hired to be that person for them. And you have to, you can't be quiet. You have to stand up and you have to say something. And it sort of forces you towards the edge. But, you've been doing this for a little while, and I've been hearing back from, my own clients. Like, we're so blessed that we get to share some clients, clients that, take the brain body birth course and then go on to hire you as a doula. And a lot of them come back and they say, like, they tell me, like, there were so many times when I wanted to say something, but I was so scared. But it was like Esty read my mind, and like she knew exactly what to say in the moment, and she just stuck up for me, and she said something. And so many times, like, I tell my clients, they ask me for doula recommendations, and depending on what they're looking for, because it's definitely like a shidduch, like it's a match, right? Every person has
Absolutely.
a different person that's right for them. But a lot of times I will recommend you, and I say, she's my sister, but I just want you to know I'm not recommending her just because she's my sister. It's because I trust her, and I see the work that she's doing, and I see over and over again for my clients who use her, who come back and say, oh my goodness, the energy that she brought to the room. She wasn't only like peaceful and calm, but she was able to translate that peace and calm into also advocacy, which is a skill. It's an art, and not everyone can do that. You have that like full package going for you. And also I'm for real. And then, I mean, I know for myself, like, who do I call when I'm freaking out? Like, you're my doula when oh my
I
gosh,
am
like,
your doula. You're my
are
original
my
client.
lead doula. Like Esty, what
Yeah.
do I do here? What do I do there? Because I need someone to lean on. And
Yeah,
oh
but
my,
you doula me right back. So, it's a two-way
we
street.
doula each other together.
That's it.
Um,
That's
another thing that I think people wonder about is like when you hire a doula, or when how can the husband stay involved, and or the partner, right? Whoever is your special person that you're bringing along to the birth, how do they stay included and involved when there's a doula there? And it's a very fine balance. Like, what do you think of that?
That's an excellent question. And it's heard a lot. Like I've heard it a lot. Really, nothing replaces a husband. Nothing replaces a partner. Like no matter how many people you have supporting you in your room, your husband is the biggest one, right? The one that you need the most. So my job as a doula is to really stay out of the way and let that couple bond, but also be like invisible at times, like do things. Like I can be supporting a mom and giving counter pressure and completely tuned out while she's talking to her husband. Her husband's giving her a hug, whispering reassurances into her ear. And I'm just like on the other side of it. Like I completely do not listen, tune out. Like my job is to make myself very, very small in that room. Like I'm just there to support you and to be what you want me to be. And sometimes some dads do want me to be more involved and want me to come to the fore, answer more questions, or be more of a dynamic presence in the room. And some of them want to be the person that is supporting their wife.
You want to be
Like
the main support person.
they want to be the support person because every husband wants to be his wife's savior, right? Like they all want to feel like and they
Yes.
are, and they really, really are. And it's wonderful to see. It's amazing how I see that when the husbands are in the room, these women, they progress, they are calm, they are chill. And sometimes they are screaming, but they're screaming with their husbands at their side. And it's a different kind of scream than when they're screaming on their own.
I
They
know.
feel supported. A husband is such an invaluable part of this whole experience. And I never ever want husbands to feel like they're left out of the situation because of the birth. I even tell my clients whenever they ask me, like, should I bring my husband to the consultation? I'm like, absolutely bring your husband. Your husband needs to be here. Your husband needs to feel comfortable with me. We have to vibe. We have to click as a
Yeah.
team because we're all here together and we're together for you and we're here to support you. Now, I will never replace a husband's role. Absolutely not. My role is to be in the back and your husband's role is to be in the front. And I will encourage your husband. I will tell your husband, do this and do that. And you can come and you can help her and you can hold her like this and you can do counter pressure and you could, and you know what, depending on the level the husband wants to be involved, but I will support your husband. And I think every doula should be supporting your husband and helping him be an integral part of your birth experience because husbands are key.
Yes,
They're
they're the
so
biggest
important.
oxytocin pusher. As much as you do the physical prep and you do the mental prep, but having your main person there, your partner, that maybe is not even saying a word. They're just standing there and not saying anything. But the fact that they're there, it feels like, okay, it's not me against the world. There's someone else there that has my back. What about situations or scenarios where you're working with someone that does not have a partner, or the partner is not very supportive, and we see all different situations, and everything is okay, and there's no right or wrong, but where do you step in, and where do you, I think it's so much more than being a doula. It's also being sometimes a relationship counselor, is being a family negotiator with a mother-in-law or the sister or the brother-in-law. Like there's so much sensitivity that we need to bring to the room. So how do you navigate that um, in a way that supports the mother?
So I feel like in certain situations, if you don't have, first of all, if you have a husband, or you don't have a husband, or your husband's involved, or your husband's not involved, like the job of a doula is to read the room and to figure out how much she is needed in that situation. Like, what exactly does this couple need right now? So I've had times where husbands were not so involved, and sometimes because they were just squeamish, they couldn't handle it, and some of them really cannot handle seeing their wives in pain, and it's hard for them. And in that case, have to step in emotionally more than just physically. I have to be more of a supporting character. Like some women want a mom in the room with them, and some of them want a friend in the room with them, and some of them just want somebody to help them physically while their husband takes over. So really, I decide based on the vibe in the room how much I'm needed, and I always tell them, I'm like, you need some space, I'll go out, I'll take a lap around the hospital. I'll make sure if, she's settled or she has an epidural and she doesn't need me constantly. And I, have her set up on a pinup wall. I'll go out, I'll give her some space with her husband, and I'll make sure that, she has what she needs. And some moms just want me to stand there and be there for them. Some moms just want me to just make conversation and let's talk about the Kardashians,
Correct.
And that is so fun and so fine. And some people want me to say Tillum with them, and I will, and I do. Like, whatever you want, right? Like, in that moment is what I will do and what I will be for you. Like, that's what I think makes up a doula, basically. Is like, a doula, really, the definition of a doula is a servant, right? My job is to be your servant. So whatever you want me to be, like, obviously I will not be, stepped on and whipped and yelled at and whatever. I have my boundaries, right? I'm not going back to, servitude, but I will serve you. And if you want me to serve you physically, I'll serve you physically. You want me to be there for you emotionally, I'll be your crutch. Okay. You want to call me, and I've had clients call me and like complain about the fact that their mother-in-law is pressuring them, or they don't know what to do because, their family dynamics are changing, and they're having a hard time with figuring it out. And like, there's always something. And I tell my clients, the minute you decide to book me is when I work for you. Like, you call me at any time, basically. Like, yeah, like you have to really schmeck it out. You know what I mean? Like, you have to see what they need in the moment, and also just
I think you have to read the room. Yeah, it's all about coming in and being able to like you said, smell the situation, right? Read the room.
If they didn't, just like schmeck it out. You have to see what they need.
Schmeck it out. You got to schmeck it out.
You got to schmeck it out. But also give them privacy. Like, couples want privacy. Like, you don't want your doula sitting on your head the entire time yapping. Like, you have to really, there are some births that I'm so quiet at, like, you're not going to hear me talking. And then there are other births that I'm cracking jokes at, Yeah. And it depends on the room. It depends on the vibe. It depends, if this woman wants that. And some people want to be distracted, and other people want to focus, and some people want to breathe. It really, I have to match your energy.
It's a fine line, and it takes a lot of skill. I think more than skill, it takes it's a personality to be able to tune into certain situations and be able to decide, okay, this is what they need from me right now. This is who I need to be right now for this person. What do you think helps moms be the most prepared, or helps them have the most positive experience in your experience?
So really, I don't think there's any one thing that actually makes or breaks a birth. I've seen moms come into birth having zero prep, mental or physical, and do wonderfully. And I've seen moms come into birth like having prepared themselves and have all the education in the world and prepare themselves physically, and just, end up in a long labor and just not be happy about their birth, At the end of the day, I do think if you want to do Hishtadlus, right, and you want to try, mental prep, like preparing yourself mentally, like knowing what you're getting yourself into, learning to surrender to your contractions, learning to relax your body. If you can just breathe and relax your shoulders and just allow your body to open up, that is what I think makes your body sit. There's also physical prep definitely helps, like doing the mile circuit and evening primrose oil, and all of those things are fantastic and wonderful, right? But really, at the end of the day, even if you don't like go the hypnobirthing route, or you don't go the gentle birthing route, which is incredible. And I've seen such amazing, amazing results from people that take Toby's course. Like unreal, right? Um, I think learning to just breathe and relinquish control and just let the contractions ride, like, come over you and just like ride the waves, letting the contractions just come and not fighting it. That is a game changer. I think when I see difficult labors or easier labors, I think the women who completely let go and they just surrender to it, these women are just end up having like an easier, faster labor because their babies can come down quicker. And also I think at the end of it, they don't feel so stressed and so tense, and like they just let it go and they breathe. Wonders.
Love it. You're dropping so many pearls of wisdom here.
Full of wisdom.
I'm curious if there's anything specific that you tell your clients to prepare before. Like, do you do prenatal visits before? Or
So I do prenatal visits sometimes, depends. But what I do too for my clients, I send them a list when they go into their 9th month of like different things they can do to prepare themselves, physically, mentally for labor. Just the usuals, the mile circuit once you go into your 9th month, doing the physical exercise, eating some dates, especially if you're a first time mom. Pretty important. Perineal massage is a very big one if you want to like try to prevent yourself from tearing. Raspberry leaf tea, especially for multips, like moms who've had multiple children. That's a very good one. Helps with, contracting your uterus and like strengthens it. And then there's just like a list of a few things, but all of these things only help you and only work if you do it without a pressure and you don't take stress about it. I think moms who take a massive stress about like, oh, I have to do the mile circuit today and I have to do the evening primrose oil and I have to do this and I have to do that. It defeats the whole purpose. The whole purpose, just relax, prepare yourself, get excited. Labor is exciting. You're having a baby. Don't take it as a pressure. Don't stress. Also, these moms that are like, are overdue and they're trying to go into labor and trying to get things started. I always tell them, you can pump and you can do reflexology and you can do all of these things. And you should do that if you want to go in early, you want to avoid an induction. But you can only do it if you're doing it just in a relaxed manner. Like you're not stressing about it. It's not something you're doing because you have to. It's something because you're doing because you want to. And it's not just taking over your brain. Because the minute you're stressed, your body's tense. It defeats the whole purpose. Your baby wants to come out when you're ripe and ready for it. And you want it to be in a calm way. And also, if you spend 2 weeks stressing about it, by the time it comes to your labor, you're such a mess and like you're overwhelmed and exhausted from just being up at nights thinking about this and stressing about everything you have to do and everything you didn't do and all of that. It's just not, it's not important.
conducive.
It's not exactly.
I just want to say the energy that the way that you talk, I mean, just calms me down. Like even me like, talking right now, like maybe it's also because you're my sister and you're the voice in my ear when
it's because I'm your sister.
No, but what you bring, when you bring this to a room, and I can so see how beneficial that is in labor, especially, and in pregnancy when women are needing a comforting, someone to comfort them and calm them down. But back to what you were saying about just doing everything without a pressure. I think it all comes back to stacking the odds in your favor of having a positive experience, but also knowing that it's not one thing that will make it or break it. It's a combination of preparation and relaxation and surrender and ultimately knowing that there's a path for you. There's a path for your baby and you're just doing your part. You're just doing your part to stack the odds in your favor of that going well. But the rest we leave up to God. And we know that the journey that we're going to walk on is already predestined and we're just in for the ride and I'm excited for it. What do you say to moms that are feeling bad about feeling bad? And by that I mean that, sometimes we see these women that are having these glowy pregnancies and they're loving it and they're so excited for birth. And then you've got the mom that she wants to be excited. Like she really wants to love her birth, but she's so stressed out. Maybe she's had previous traumatic experiences.
maybe it's her first birth and she doesn't know what to expect, or she's heard terrible birth stories from all her friends and family, and she's scared of birth, or maybe she's not, she doesn't want this, and it just happened, and that sometimes happens, and we don't talk about that enough. And she was thrown into this, and now what? And she's feeling guilty about not wanting this, and or not feeling excited or wanting to be excited. You get what I'm saying? What do you say to a mom like that? So I know it sounds cliche, and I'm going to say it anyways, but you have to stop comparing yourself to other people. Like, you cannot go onto social media, onto TikTok, onto Instagram, and look at other women's perfect pregnancies and claim it as your own, because everybody has their own journey. And I know for myself, like when I was pregnant, I had difficult pregnancies, and I used to look at my friends who had it so easy, and I used to feel like, why can't I just have this like easy breezy pregnancy? I'm like, why can't I? So, I can so relate to that, but I also feel like we all have our own journeys, and some of our journeys have, hills in the beginning, and some of our journeys have hills at the end, and some of us have hills in the middle, but we all have hills and mountains that we have to climb. And this is something that you have to climb and you have to get through. Your pregnancy might not be as glamorous and as easy as your friend, but your friend has something that you don't, that has something that she's going through that you don't, that you're not going through, right? We all have different things that we have to deal with. And this saying or this parable or whatever, like if we would all put our bags on a table, like we would all, for everyone to take, if our bags will all be out there, we would all take our own bag, we would all take it back, right? Because at the end of the day, it's your life and it's not your friend's life, and you're living your own life. And I understand it, because it is painful. And I think that goes to everything in life. Like when you're struggling with something and you're watching somebody else just like have the easiest, breeziest time, it's normal for feelings of jealousy, for feelings of like, why can't this be the same for me? It's such a normal part of life to feel these feelings. But you have to remember, first of all, compassion. Be compassionate to yourself. It's okay to feel that way, and validate yourself and give yourself a big hug, because it's okay to feel that way. And not all pregnancies are created equal, and not all births are created equal. And just because your friend had this and you had that does not mean that your friend's pregnancy is better than yours. It doesn't mean that her baby is better off because she had a better pregnancy. I will tell you that with my pregnancies, I was very nauseous. I had just like a difficult pregnancies. And then my baby was born, my first baby. It was, first time mom. I didn't know what hit me. It was like overwhelming, you know, you know what I had then. But with my second baby, I like walked around Main Street with like like nose plugs. It was still COVID, so I had like a mask on. And I had like a nose clip
when you
on
were
my
pregnant.
nose.
I remember.
Yeah, when I was pregnant, because I would pass stores and I would have to go in and throw up because like I would smell onions or garlic or anything. So my entire pregnancy, I wasn't eating basically. And
And I think it was like past COVID. So like in that time, so everyone was wearing masks. So you were able to like get away with walking
I
with
hid
a
it like
mask.
under my mask. It happened to have worked out, but I remember like being very honest with you. Like I remember thinking like, why did I get myself into this? Like it's so hard. It's so hard. And comparing myself to people around me. And all I needed back then was a big hug and somebody to tell me it's going to be okay. Like this is something you're going through. It's hard. It's really, really hard, but give it some time and you're going to have this precious angel in your arms, and it's all going to be worth it. I know it sounds like it won't be, but it will be. I promise you. And it was. And I like to think of it as like every time I threw up or every time I had a difficult moment in my pregnancy, it just made my baby a little bit cuter.
Oh, she is so cute. She really is.
I love my kids, and it makes me emotional to think about it. But like, yes, my pregnancies were hard, but being a mom is priceless, and you are sacrificing so much. And that is the biggest, like being a mom, going through a hard pregnancy is the biggest sacrifice, and is the most mom thing that you can do. Is you are giving up so much of yourself for your child, You're sacrificing your comfort, you're sacrificing your food, you're sacrificing literally being a person and a human being. And after this entire sacrifice is over, you'll have a lot more sacrifices to make, obviously, throughout your parent, being a parent. Like you get the most angelic, most beautiful, most wonderful baby. And that is the ultimate consolation prize.
Yes. Like our mother, she always says that in pregnancy, because we both have difficult pregnancies and we get very nauseous. Our mother, she always says, I cannot wait for the baby to be born so I can patch them up, meaning like I can smack them up. And it always cracks us up, because that's what we want to hear in the moment. We're so like just angry. Like, in the moment when you're so nauseous and you're so just like done, you just want to be angry for a minute and you cannot wait for but when the baby comes, my mom is the first one to kiss them up, obviously. Like one of the biggest things, I think coming back to advocacy, especially in pregnancy, and I tell this to my moms all the time, and I am a big believer that no one can, especially for young children, no one will advocate for your baby and no one will stick up for your child. They cannot stick up for themselves besides for their own parents. So
Agreed.
I talk a lot about it in the Brain Body Birth courses, listening and tapping into your own intuition, because pregnancy is a time to practice that, because you're not only advocating for yourself when you talk to your doctor, you're also advocating for your child, for your unborn child. And that is practice for when your baby is born, and there are going to be people that you're going to have to maybe, I don't want to say fight off, but approach and say, hey, you don't do this to my child. Or you might have to talk to a provider and say, before you give this to my baby, what are my options? Are there any alternatives? What are the benefits? What are the risks? That all starts in pregnancy, and it's a great time to practice.
Absolutely. Being a mom is being an advocate. That's literally what it is.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously we have to let our kids grow on their own pace. We don't have to like involve ourselves in every little thing. But I do think when it comes to like medical decisions, or even just like, getting them into schools, right? Like you have to advocate for your child, like, and, or getting them to see an eye doctor in Manhattan that doesn't have appointments, and you call 100 times and you want to get your child in. Being a mom turns you into a warrior. It just does. Like you have to fight for your child. So start fighting for your child when they're in utero, because that's your baby in there, and everything that you are saying or doing is for your baby, right? Like you want to make sure your baby gets the best care before.
I just saw a really cute video, and so someone was saying, what she thought she'll turn into when she becomes a mom, and she was showing these images of like this mushy, type of person, but instead what she became was that tiger, that lion, that mama bear. And she's just, like you rise up like that volcano and you just like do whatever it takes, and you'll, metaphorically kill whoever you need to kill to protect your child. That's what happens. And that's our job. Like that's literally our job as parents.
At the end of the day, when you're a mom, all you see is that little baby, your baby. And it's very hard for us to go against that natural instinct as a mother, right? So we we definitely become just fighters and warriors for our kids.
We do.
Sometimes too much, right? Like sometimes we have to stay out of it. Like if your kid is fighting with someone on the bus, don't get involved. I mean, maybe like, if you have to, if it's getting physical and dangerous, like, yes, get involved. But we have to also like teach our kids to be their own people and like fight their own battles sometimes, right?
Yeah.
But sometimes it goes against all of our instincts. Like, you see your kids playing outside and like they're excluding one child, and like, you just want your kid to be part of it. Like you want to get involved, but it's not going to be good for your kid if you get involved,
It's going with our instincts and also learning to just sit with it and let it wash over us and ride that wave of just anger or frustration. And
I think it's about like choosing your battles. Like sometimes, when it comes to like big things, you definitely do have to fight and advocate for your kids. Other times, not so much.
Wow, that was so much wisdom in there. I think we talk a lot about parenting. I mean, personally, we were constantly like going through different, I run different, situations by you, and you're my listening ear. So I'm definitely lucky there that I get to have my parenting coach, my doula, my everything.
Thank you.
But when it comes to birth, right? Let's come right back to birth. And are there anything, before we wrap up our talk today, because we can talk for hours, but is there anything that you want to leave mothers with? One message that you feel like is important for pregnant moms to know, going into birth, going into motherhood, going into postpartum? What's something you want to share with the world?
I just want to say that you are enough. No, really. Like, I know it sounds a little bit like cliche, and we've said it before, but you are enough as a mom. You are a mom before you have your baby, right? You're a mom from the minute you get pregnant. You are everything your baby needs, and you are literally feeding, nourishing, growing a child from when they're born. And you are enough for this baby. Whatever you are is enough for this baby. And I see so many moms come into labor and just into birth, there's so many insecurities. Like, will I be a good mom? Will I not be a good mom? You have everything it takes to raise this baby. And I think sometimes being so scared of what's coming, like, really slows us down and like makes us not be able to get there, right? Like, and it sometimes can actually hold up labor. Like, if a mother is scared of what's coming and she's scared of being a mother, sometimes her labor can stall. And I've seen this happen. Just remember that God doesn't give you anything you can't handle, and he doesn't give your baby anything your baby can't handle either. So I feel like I take this with me throughout, like, pregnancy, delivery, parenting, is that sometimes we want to do everything we can to protect our little babies, and we want to do everything we can to advocate for them. But we have to remember that they can handle themselves, just like you can handle yourself, and just like you can live, fend for yourself. Like, and God gave you the tools to deal with everything that comes your way. So will your baby. And your baby is so, so, so lucky to have you. So lucky, because you're doing so much for this baby, even before the baby is born, right? So all the things you can do are just like an aside. You need the confidence before you go into labor. Before you have your baby, I want you to believe with your whole heart that this baby is coming into the right home. This baby is coming to the best parents for this baby. You are the best parents for this child, right? And I think that if we would all believe that, really, 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 really believe that, we would all just be so much better off, personally. And, you can do all the things, the nitty gritty, and prepare before, and mentally and physically and emotionally and spiritually, right? But you have to really know in your heart that you're perfect and you're good and you're amazing and you're everything for this child. I feel like the course that you gives women so much confidence, and it really makes them just be so sure of themselves. Like, going into labor, like, they know what they want. They have all the information, all the tools. And I just see such a big difference, because they're just like, they're so prepared. They're so prepared, and they know that, like, what's right and what's wrong, and what their options are. And it gives them so much confidence and self-assurance that, like, they're doing the right thing. And I think this is it. This is the key. Confidence, right?
Yes.
Knowing that you're the right mom. This is confidence. That's what we need. We need more confidence. Like, when I had my first baby, I was flat on my back. I had no clue. Like, I was laying in the bed my entire labor, doing nothing. I had an epidural, but like, nothing was, I felt so vulnerable in that situation. I did not feel empowered at all. I felt like I'm like, a little girl being, sort of bombarded with so many doctors and nurses, and just like everybody was doing things to me. I wasn't really in control. And I think knowing that you are in control, like, it's your birth. You have so much power in your birth, right? Like, that confidence just is everything for these moms. So I think you're incredible.
Esty, thank you so much for coming on. It was such a pleasure. It's truly so special that we get to do this together. And it's such a full circle moment where we're at right now, that we get to come on to each other's programs. I get to support you when you come to births, when you go to births, and you support me with my questions and motherhood and everything. Before we end off, I just want to ask you, if people want to reach out to you to connect or book you or ask you questions, where can they reach you at?
So I am with an incredible group at Vicky's Doula Services, and we're just a group of doulas that we work together.
Shout out to Vicky.
And we shout out to Vicky, exactly. And each and every one of the doulas in this group are just incredible. So if you get me, or if you get any of the others, you'll be okay. So if you want to check us out, you can go to VickyDoulaServices.com. I think that's what it is. Or just look up Vicky's Doula Services and click on the website that comes up. And you can see all of us and what we have to offer. Or you want to call us, you can call at 845-915-9858.
And you're based in Rockland County, correct?
We're based in Rockland County, and we have doulas that go all over the place. We have doulas that go to Brooklyn and to Manhattan and
New Jersey.
We all go to New Jersey. Yeah, but basically surrounding areas. Like, we don't really go to Israel or Florida or London yet.
Yeah, you're not going to be in London yet. Maybe in the future. Who knows?
In the future.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Esty. And
you're welcome. Thanks for having me.
I'll link all the details, Estie's information in the show notes below. And I hope you all have an awesome day. And thank you so much for joining in and listening into this conversation.
Thank you so much for spending this time with me today. If you're looking for more support on your journey, I'd love to invite you to check out my Brain Body Birth course at gentlebeginnings.life/BBB. That's gentlebeginnings.life/BBB. I created this course because I saw so many women walking into birth feeling overwhelmed, anxious, and unsure of what to expect. Brain Body Birth is designed to change that. Inside, I guide you through the mindset tools, evidence-based education, practical birth preparation, advocacy skills, and postpartum planning that can help you feel calm, confident, and ready for whatever path your birth takes. My goal isn't to help you have one specific type of birth. It's to help you understand your options, trust yourself, and walk into birth feeling informed, empowered, and supported. It's the course I wish every mom had before welcoming her baby. And if you found this episode helpful, I'd be so grateful if you shared with a friend, sister, or a fellow mom who could use a little extra support. Don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and comment if your platform allows it. Those simple actions make a huge difference and help me reach more women with this information. Until next time, take a deep breath, trust yourself, and remember, you are capable. Your body is wise, and you deserve to feel supported every step of the way. And just a quick reminder that the information shared in this podcast is for educational purposes only and is not intended to replace medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. Always consult your healthcare provider regarding your specific situation and medical care. Thanks for listening. I'll see you in the next episode.